The G20 meeting of world leaders in Brazil came to an end after 2 full days of meetings. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was among the leaders in South America, where topics included the war in Ukraine, as well as how to solve global hunger and poverty. When it comes to the latter two issues, Trudeau pitched Canada as a leader in nuclear power, which could help other countries with their growing power supply needs. Brazil's president opened the second day of a meeting of the world's 20 major economies today by calling for more action to slow global warming, saying developed nations must speed up their initiatives to reduce harmful emissions. His comments came the day after representatives of the G20 nations endorsed a joint statement that called for a pact to combat hunger, more aid for Gaza, an end to the war in Ukraine, and other goals amid global uncertainty surrounding the incoming administration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump.
When it comes to the adoption of clean energy, we've made remarkable progress together, but we all know we have so much more to do. We all know what it takes. History is watching us. History is watching. I urge us to keep faith and keep going. This is the single greatest existential threat to humanity if we do not deal with climate change. Our children, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-grandchildren, their future is going to be determined by what we do in the next 4 to 6 years.
In addition to a $325 million contribution for the World Bank Clean Technology Fund, U.S. President Joe Biden has announced a series of climate and development-related initiatives, but many of them would require buy-in from Trump, who opposes such projects and has called the climate crisis a hoax.
This is my last G20 summit. We've made progress together, but I urge you to keep going. I'm sure you will, regardless of my urging or not.
The joint statement approved yesterday night called for urgent humanitarian assistance and better protection of civilians caught up in conflicts in the Middle East, plus affirmed the Palestinian right to self-determination. But it didn't mention the suffering of Israel, which is not a G20 member, or the 100 or so hostages still held by Hamas in Gaza. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced $68 million in allocations of previously announced funds to help with G20 priorities, mostly in Latin America, ranging from cracking down on organized crime and drug smuggling to supporting conservation and increasing women's economic participation. Canada has had some difficulty in diplomatic relationships with key G20 members in recent years, including China and Russia. Canada's relationship with India has also been deeply scarred over the last year. Today, Trudeau also expressed concern about the impact Trump will have on global support for Ukraine.
The United States strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Everyone around this table, in my view, should as well. And by the way, Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine led to the highest record food prices in all of history.
Looming large at the meeting yesterday was news of Biden easing restrictions on Ukraine's use of longer-range U.S. missiles against Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin didn't attend and instead sent his foreign minister. The G20 declaration highlighted the human suffering in Ukraine and called for peace, but didn't name Russia. Brazil's president declared the summit over today, passing the ceremonial mallet to the South African president. The country said it will use its G20 presidency to focus on advancing inclusive economic growth, food security, and artificial intelligence.